Well, Marty, I just want to say how much it is a pleasure to have you here today, and we really welcome you. Thank you so much for being title sponsor for Foothill Christian School, and you and your family are just an important part of what we're doing at this school. So we wanted to take the next few minutes, talk to you, get to know you a little bit better. And I know that you have always been a leader in the realm of real estate, and they're at the top of the charts with Century 21. I can't help but wonder, what was your inspiration when you were growing up? What were the factors in your life that got you started in this whole direction of real estate, so that today, across the country, even around the world, they look at Marty Rodriguez, Century 21, and they say, "Wow."
I think, first of all, definitely our parents. Our parents were. I'm one of 11 kids. My mom had 11 kids in 15 years, so we were like pretty much boom, boom, one after another, and they sent us all to, to a Christian school, and that was, I don't know how they did it.
So how did you actually get into real estate?
Since I was 6 years old, I was the best Christmas card seller, the best candy seller. I could outsell any kid in school since I was 6 years old, and, I was born with a gift. And I think that I just took that to another level. My husband, when I first met Ed, he knew I could sell, so he's really the one that pushed me to get into real estate. My kids would go with me knocking doors. We would go door to door with my kids.
Really?
Yes. So
boy, how long have you been married?
I'll be married 42 years this year. And I've been in real estate, it'll be 35 years next month. My kids, Shelly has, slept next to my desk since she was a little girl.
And now she runs the office.
And she runs the office. Yes, Shelly graduated from USC Marshall School of Business. So she runs the business side of the company. And then she's a responsible broker. And then my son, Sean does all our technology and works on the bank repo team. And then my stepson, Ed, is our sales manager. So I have a great management team. I thank God for my kids because I wasn't born in the tech area, and I am techie because of them. So
that's part of continually learning.
That's continual learning. I remember when I started, there were no computers.
Right.
I would have to go in the back room and pull a book for every piece of information. So what it would take me all day to do, it takes somebody 5 minutes to do today.
This generation today, these young children, these young people, they grew up with word processors. They grew up with computers. I grew up with typewriter,
Me too.
Correcto tape, carbon sheets. Type a whole report and find out at the end that you've made a mistake. You've got to go back and retype the whole page.
Right.
And
we have a great penmanship because we really, worked on our penmanship.
That's right.
I'm worried about the kids' penmanship today.
Yeah. So what part of the traditional values, though, in the midst of all of this technology, what are some of those lessons? You look back, it's holding on to what is valuable from the past. At the same time, you're moving ahead with where technology is going. But there have to be certain values that you look back on in terms of sales, customer service, that sort of thing, that they kind of fall into the realm of old-fashioned, good old traditional values.
Well, and I think, we want to be high-tech,
right,
but we want to be high-touch. We need to really also reach out and touch our clients, at some point. Because I know sometimes I tell them, you can't email somebody to death. Eventually, you've got to get in front of them. They've got to feel you. It's kind of like the client says, can you tell me what my house is worth? They go, no, I need to see your house. I need to feel your house. I need to, I want to meet them at some point. Again, we want to be high tech, but we want to be high touch. Because it's all about remember, our business is all about our customer. Without our customer, we are nobody.
That's the thing that I've noticed about you, from what I've heard and from what I've read, is that you seem to spend a lot of time listening so that you really do hear that heartbeat of that person. It's not about just the structure or the strategy of selling, but at the same time, I've heard you say, we're touching people's lives. Is that the distinctive?
You know what? I tell people, real estate is not a part-time job. We're dealing with people's life,
right,
their money, their family, and their biggest investment. Buying a home is very emotional. Your clients, want to be able to call you, find you when they have a question. This is an emotional process.
Right.
When you're dealing with residential real estate.
Right. So is real estate your hobby?
Is it my hobby? I have this thing that says, the master in the art of living knows little difference between his work and his play. To him, he is always doing both. So for me, you know what? I love my job. So, for me, I'm selling everywhere I go.
So when you look back, I mean, it's almost like success and what you've been able to accomplish in real estate hasn't been as a result of the focus on the money. It's been on the focus
of the people.
Of the people.
It's all about the people. Remember, without the people, there is no money.
Right.
So if you help them get what they want, then you will get what you want. But you got to put them first, and it's got to be a win-win situation. It's not all about me. It's not all about them. It's about us working together to make it happen for them.
What are some thoughts that you'd like to leave? I'm just thinking of our young people here today. We've got our kids K through 8. We've got some stellar graduates that are still connected with our school at Foothill. You, your family, have been so involved in what's taking place here at Foothill. Any pearls of wisdom that you can shed or share in that direction?
I think it reminds me so much of when I was growing up. The morals, the values. The difference between right and wrong. You do what's right, not what's popular. Those are the things that I love when I see I actually have 4 grandkids at Foothill Christian now. I have Tori, Taylor, and Tana Dow, and Aiden Rodriguez, who just started at the preschool. So we've got 4 kids at Foothill Christian.
Why do you think your family selected Foothill to put their children here?
Shelley is very thorough, by the way. When she did her investigations, and she picked Foothill because it met all of the needs, not only for when the kids were little for her working, but she liked the values of Foothill Christian. And when I come here, I feel it reminds me when I was growing up, when I was in my Christian school. When I hear my grandkids communicate, I mean, we grew up and we were not allowed to say bad words. And guess what? In my office, you're not allowed to say bad words either. So you take those values and the things that you learned as a child on with you, into your life.
Right.
And and I'm so proud of my kids too, because everything is about what's right.
Right.
Yeah. So I just love the atmosphere of the school. It reminds me of when I was growing up. I love the morals, the values, and love Mr. G. So.
Absolutely.
I do.
Mr. G and the staff.
And the staff.
They just love the children.
Yeah, and Mrs. Parenti and I went to high school together, by the way. So, yes. And she is amazing, too.
Well, before we close, are there any parting thoughts that you have that you'd like to share? I just want to, I don't want to cut you off without giving you an opportunity to share what's on your heart or your mind.
Well, I just think when, people are, looking for a private school, something that has a lot of value, and not only with the kids, but I think with the family, with the parents, with the grandparents. I've become involved because for me it's important. They say we must nourish and encourage what we want America to be like 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now.
Right.
So for me, I have a mission statement in life. My mission statement is to bring happiness to myself and others, to be the best example I can be, so that I can inspire and change lives and bring out the best in the people I touch. So, for me, I have a great responsibility.
Right.
So I feel like Foothill Christian, plays an important part in making those things happen for my grandkids. Because sometimes, we can't be with them all the time. They're in school, and
right.
I think they're well taken care of at Foothill Christian. So what I taught my children and what they're teaching their children is being also done at Foothill Christian. And that's important.
That's great.
Yeah, it is. And all my grandkids want to all go to a university. And that was big because when we were growing up, it was my parents, to get a high school education, and then my kids going to university, and my grandkids are excited about going to universities.
Right.
And schools like this prepare you for for that goal. They really do. So.
Thank you for coming in today. God bless you,
Thank you.
Thank you for being a title sponsor and being so supportive of the school.
Yeah, we love Foothill Christian.
We appreciate you, Marty. Thank you so much.
Thank you.